effort. There's a couple different things I wanted to discuss there, but Jonathan Taylor had, was it a self-imposed deadline, or was it more just the mechanics of the way the roster rules work? Jonathan Taylor not traded by the Colts, so what happens now to Jonathan Taylor?
Colts kind of imposed deadline because the thinking there was if you want to trade for him and get him on your roster and not leave him on the PUP list, which now he is on, cannot play for a month. Even if he gets traded tomorrow, he's still out for a month. The Colts were basically saying, get this deal done, and then you can activate him off PUP and maybe only keep him out for 2 weeks instead of 4 or whatever you want to do. So that was the soft deadline that existed. It sounds like the Colts never came off of their very high asking price, though, of either a first-round pick or a package of picks equivalent to a first-round pick, which was just simply never going to happen. When you hear things like that, I always say, okay, so they don't want to trade him, and they don't plan on trading him. So what happens now is, yeah, he's out for the first month. He needs to get healthy from that ankle injury, but when he comes back, is he going to play? Is there going to be more headaches? To a degree, though, he has to report and be ready to play. If he tries to hold out longer than that and just not report whatever, the Colts can toll his contract, meaning that this year would not count. They can say, okay, you're under the 4th year of your rookie deal again next year. Not even a franchise tag. We're just rolling it over. So week 5, things are going to get very interesting once again.
Yeah, so Taylor, the Colts really have the leverage, right? Because if Taylor does want to get out of Indianapolis, he has to play, as you said, to get that 4th year, to become a free agent. And, missing the first 4 games for a guy coming off injury, not the worst thing in the world. And again, the Colts, from a trading standpoint, had to weigh what they're getting offered with what they could get if Taylor walks, what they want to get from Taylor in season here. Kind of an ugly situation. I know we've talked a lot about running backs. I know you've talked a lot about running backs, but overall, where do you see the position going? Do you think there's ever going to be any sort of reset where running backs get paid a little bit if they end up the best guys? Because, it doesn't get that much better than Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, and Jonathan Taylor. So this looks like a serious tipping point for the league.
100%. And I think, people look back and like to kind of poke fun at Le'Veon Bell and, say, oh, he missed out on this money, yada, yada, yada. To a degree, though, I think these guys are thinking of the position group at large and not just themselves. Zeke Elliott famously, when it was after his 3rd season, went down to Cabo, gained about 20 pounds, pulled a James Harden, but it led to, one of the best contracts at the position in the history of the sport. Arguably the best. McCaffrey got a little bit more on an annual basis, but Zeke's guarantees were super strong. The cash flows were pretty strong. So anyway, I think it's Taylor saying, look, you're talking about a first-team All-Pro rushing leader, a guy who until last season hadn't missed a practice apparently since high school or something like that, and now you can't even pay him. And for me, I think the biggest kind of hypocrisy with the whole thing is the Colts basically said, okay, we're not going to pay Jonathan Taylor a market rate deal. However, we need a first-round pick or a package of picks equivalent. So is he valuable or not? And I've said this on shows before, but I also think it's funny. I just mentioned Christian McCaffrey. A week before the Colts traded up to take Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey signed his deal for $16 million a year. Like, you knew exactly what you were getting into. I know the market dynamics have changed. You shouldn't pay, $100 for a $5 item just because it used to be $100 5 years ago. But it's just, I think we're approaching a rock bottom. I really do.